Meteorologist Pete Mangione with your Pinpoint Weather 12 forecast.
We will be dealing with some off and on showers today. We'll have more on that local forecast in just a few minutes. First, the latest on Hurricane Florence, and this picture just looks frightening, doesn't it? You can see the huge Hurricane Florence now approaching the North and South Carolina coast. And here's the updated track from the National Hurricane Center. Very little change from the previous track issued at 5 o'clock this morning. Now, one good piece of news from this is the data continues to be rather consistent that there could be some weakening before it makes landfall over the next couple days. So obviously a category 2 or 3 is better than a category 4, although in the next 24 hours it could actually strengthen a little bit. No matter what happens, obviously this is still a very dangerous storm. Now, one other issue is the path once it gets close to land. The data is still very consistent that there's going to be a little bit of a stalling going on with the storm. That's not great because what will happen, or what could happen, is as the storm lurks just offshore from places like Wilmington, North Carolina, you could get this repeated storm surge over and over again. It could go on for a couple days, actually. That is not good news if the storm takes that path. It's also not great news for rainfall when you have a stalling storm. That's because the rain just keeps coming and coming. And it's hard to believe, but this rainfall map, which is basically a computer projection, this may actually be underdone. You can see along the North and South Carolina coasts, likely we will be measuring rain in feet and not inches. In fact, near the North Carolina coast, we could be talking about rainfall amounts of 20 to 40 inches. So when we add everything up, even though we are looking at devastating storm surge flooding and wind damage and power outages, the most damage could be caused by the rainfall. And you can see that number again, isolated amounts could be close to 40 inches along the North Carolina coast. Wind will be a factor. Tropical storm force winds likely by tomorrow, and then hurricane force winds likely by Friday. A storm surge 6 to 13 foot storm surge in spots. Keep in mind that's the amount of water that's above normally dry land. So you imagine a 6-foot person, that goes well above their heads. So obviously a concerning situation down there in North and South Carolina. We're looking at a wave forecast now. I just wanted to show you sort of what's going to happen here in southern New England. Some of this energy will propagate to our water, so we'll be looking at some high surf, especially towards the end of the week and the weekend, but you can see nowhere near the type of wave activity that they're going to see offshore from the Carolinas. So one reason why we're watching this carefully is that the weather may actually be pretty nice, especially on Saturday. Low 70s, mostly sunny skies. That's the type of weather that could bring people down to the water. So just use caution with the high surf around this weekend. Right now we are looking at some showers and thunderstorms moving into Connecticut. A few actually slipping into our neck of the woods, and you could see a few right now along 295 near Smithfield, Lincoln. You may get clipped by a few downpours in Cumberland here shortly, and also a few downpours trying to pop here near the South Kingstown area. And we'll be off and on with these showers as we head throughout the rest of the day. In fact, in Newport you could see it is cloudy, and in Providence we are looking at some cloudy skies, and we have had periods of fog as well. So we're going to take you right to the 7-day forecast because we wanted to show you sort of the trend here. Even though Florence will be approaching the North and South Carolina coast, our weather will actually be improving by Friday, 77 degrees, Saturday and Sunday, upper 70s to low 80s. In fact, the humidity will go down a little bit as we go into the weekend as well. Could get some of the leftovers from Florence into the middle part of next week with some showers, but nowhere near the amounts that they're going to see down to the south.
All right, thank you, Pete. Now in stories coming up new tonight, starting live at 5. Eyewitness News, your local election headquarters, as voters cast their ballots this primary day. Will be live